Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey says he made a, quote, error in judgment.
He said that in connection with his delay in disclosing a relationship with a worker whom he supervised for months. The Democrat issued a statement late on Tuesday in which he said Chief Deputy Attorney General Christopher Taub will supervise the worker moving forward as the personal relationship continues. Frey says it was an error in judgment that he didn't take the steps sooner, quote, to ensure that we have appropriate boundaries, end quote. The Republican minority leader in the Maine House says he has concerns about Frey serving in the position after the admission.
Maine Senate Republicans held a press conference today to shed more light on 6 bills involving vaccine mandates and religious and philosophical exemptions that were the subjects of a 12-hour public hearing on Monday. All senators who attended the press conference today agree it is time to remove vaccine mandates and implement exemptions.
We deserve a religious exemption from these vaccines. We deserve a personal philosophy exemption from these vaccines. It is discrimination, no matter how you look at it.
Senator Marianne Moore, who represents Washington County and parts of Hancock County, says Maine is one of only 6 states that does not allow non-medical vaccine exemptions.
Maine was on the national stage on Wednesday as First Lady Dr. Jill Biden visited Southern Maine Community College in South Portland. The tour highlighted workforce training and the state's free community college program. The First Lady got a first-hand look at the trade programs within SMCC. She toured the precision machining lab where students learn to fabricate metal parts, to the school's automotive garage, where a first-of-its-kind electric vehicle program is underway. Dr. Biden, who's a community college teacher herself in Virginia, didn't take any questions during the tour, but she did highlight the importance of funding for these types of programs.
Well, it was an unforgettable day for students at Herman Middle School who got the chance to speak with a U.S. Senator. They've been learning how our government works in the classroom, and today they were visited by someone who helps make it all happen. Senator Susan Collins was invited to talk to 8th graders about her work in Washington. She told the students about her day-to-day duties and also encouraged them to follow their own dreams.
You can be whatever you want to be. If I can go from the halls of Caribou High School to the chambers of the United States Senate, it just proves that if you work hard, follow your dream, and are determined, you can achieve your goal.
Senator Collins says she was inspired to pursue a life in public service by her parents, who also served as town leaders in her hometown of Caribou. She said a visit with late Senator Margaret Chase Smith also inspired her. That's when she knew that even a young girl from northern Maine could one day become a leader.
Representative Chad Perkins announced earlier today that his bill, LD 1242, an act to eliminate certain motor vehicle inspections, will have a public hearing tomorrow. The bill would repeal certain statutory provisions requiring inspections for motor vehicles registered in the state of Maine, except those registered for commercial motor vehicles, trailers, and semi-trailers. Representative Perkins said in a statement, quote, "Data shows that having your vehicle inspected or uninspected has no bearing on whether or not it is involved in a motor vehicle accident. Average people cannot always afford to fix minor defects that do not affect performance, operability, or passenger safety. It is time to review this policy in light of the fact that we already have an unsafe vehicle law on the books," end quote. Again, the Committee on Transportation will hold that public hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the State House in room 126.
A public hearing today focused on a proposed bill that aims to provide relief to homeowners impacted by rising property taxes. Our Matthew Jurancic shares more.
Republican Representative Austin Terrio of Fort Kent says he wants to save homeowners money with his bill, an act to increase the homestead exemption to $50,000.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't meet somebody at the restaurant or the grocery store and they're asking me, what are we going to do about property taxes? Property taxes are getting out of control.
Should this bill become law, property tax exemptions for homesteads would increase from $25,000 to $50,000 beginning on or after April 1st, 2024. It would also add provisions increasing the rate of state reimbursements to municipalities that lost any revenue. During the public meeting, Winthrop resident John Nichols came to the podium to oppose the bill.
If my house gets jacked up to 3 times what I'm appraised at now, then the exemption becomes kind of a drop in the bucket. I have a feeling that the assessors could take that in mind and reassess my house at 3 or 4 times the current rating, and it would jump my taxes. It would double or triple my taxes.
Terrio says he'd like to get more public input on how to improve the proposed law.
The gentleman that came today testified on what he's seeing in his community. We're here to represent folks from all across the state, and we can only be the voice as long as they tell us what to do.
The bill will be worked on during the Taxation Committee's workshop session next Wednesday. In Augusta, Matthew Juroncic reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news tonight, a former Holton resident is expected to plead guilty to manslaughter this week. Leanne Daigle was arrested in Massachusetts in June in connection with the discovery of a baby that was found abandoned in a gravel pit more than 35 years ago. A neighbor's dog discovered the child in Frenchville in 1985 and carried it back home. Authorities determined the baby had been abandoned in sub-zero temperatures, but it took decades before they had enough evidence to make an arrest. Daigle was originally charged with murder, but she is expected to plead guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter. She'll appear in a Holton courtroom on Thursday.
Hamden police seized roughly $85,000 worth of drugs and several firearms as part of an ongoing investigation. Hamden police arrested Benjamin Soroy of Hamden and seized 4 firearms from his residence. They say a search warrant was subsequently executed in Orrington, where 2 more firearms were seized along with various drugs. Police say they seized more than a pound of suspected methamphetamine, 82 grams of suspected fentanyl, and 63 grams of crack cocaine. Soroy faces illegal possession of firearms and drug trafficking charges. The investigation remains ongoing.
Concern and alarm in one Maine community after deputies say students had a weapon inside a high school. The York County Sheriff and Massabesic school officials say on Monday they learned students were on school grounds with a weapon. Some students say that weapon was a gun. That's something investigators have not yet confirmed.
Apparently this dude brought a gun to school last week, and they didn't tell us until yesterday.
Officials say they were made aware on Monday of pictures and videos of RSU 57 students with a weapon. That's when the county sheriff was notified. The school's resource officer, investigators, and school personnel identified the students involved. Investigators then searched their homes and conducted interviews, and then they say that's when they seized the weapon and issued criminal trespass notices to the students, prohibiting them from all RSU 57 property. In a press release, school officials urged community members to report anything that potentially poses a threat to the school. Investigators arrested 1 person so far. The York County Sheriff's Office says more arrests are anticipated and that the investigation remains ongoing.
Well, switching gears now, the Municipal Review Committee, which is the oversight committee that's been working to fundraise for the Hamden trash plant, has found a new company to manage the operation there. Our Devin Dagnall explains.
It was announced Wednesday morning that the Municipal Review Committee has committed to exclusivity with Innovative Resources Recovery, also referred to as just Innovative.
They do share a lot of the same visions the MRC shares. They're very excited about this plant and what it can do, but they also show a lot more excitement over the plant being there, everything being brand new, and the potential of it even doing more than what it can already do.
According to the executive director of the MRC, Michael Carroll, Innovative had shown interest in taking over the Hamden trash plant in the past, but were not able to discuss a partnership with the MRC due to previous exclusivity agreements. At the present moment, Innovative is still looking over a few finer details before completely taking the reins, but MRC President Karen Fussell says she's confident the agreement will go through.
They did their review and analysis coming into this agreement because as part of this agreement, they provided the MRC $350,000 deposit. They did enough background research to think that this looked like a good investment, was interesting to them, and had a lot of potential. So now they're doing the hard work, the numbers, the legal work.
According to Fussell, they hope the agreement will be finalized by June 2nd of this year. Carroll says after the plans are finalized, customers can expect the same service and rates for years to come.
Our current contracts, which we're going to assign, our members are locked in for 15 years at a rate with an annual CPI adjustment.
Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, and as we look outdoors now, things kind of turned out there between the time of our last newscast and now. We were kind of talking about how it was a nicer day than we expected,
right.
but that quickly changed.
Yeah, I think Mother Nature just pulled the old bait and switch on us and
did.
said, okay, well, you can have your nice afternoon, but here's a messy evening commute for you.
Exactly.
All righty, well, with a little bit more on what we can expect in the coming hours, let's take a first look at our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth. What a messy day out there today. Freezing rain started a couple hours ago, and it is still falling right now. Indicated here in the pink colors, even all the way up to Greenville, Millinocket area. We got to go really up north to get in on some pretty heavy snow. Visibilities are a bit low at the moment. It is saying 9 miles here in town. It is actually a little bit lower than that. Millinocket, that is coming in correctly 2.5 miles there. So it is really starting to deteriorate condition-wise. Winds are slightly starting to pick up right now. Still not looking too bad. 7 miles an hour here in town. By the coast, same thing. Anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Greenville does have a little pocket of some stronger winds. Overall, though, temperatures earlier today, 30s, a couple of 20s up north, even some 40s by the coast down south by Portland. We had some mid-40s outside. Lots of warm air, though, making its way up north. Washington, D.C., back into the 80s, but New York City only in the 40s. For us, though, tonight, temperatures will continue to slightly warm up above the freezing mark as that freezing rain does transition into plain rain by the morning hours. Beth?
Good sleeping weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get those pitter-patters on the windowsill.
Indeed.
That's perfect.
We're good.
All right. Well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. There's a sharp contrast between this year and last year's moose calf fatalities. We'll have the details for you.
And they're putting the fun in fundraiser at Husson University. We'll let you in on that secret coming right up.
Up and Smoke Fireworks is family-owned with a huge selection including Brothers and Showtime, Time Bandit, and Black Hat brands. We will share our knowledge with you, then go have a blast. Up and Smoke Fireworks, 173 West Main Street, Searsport.
We've got your back, road warriors, because we know you're picking up the pace. Steering life at 10 and 2. You're hitting the road, and we're helping you get there with confidence. So skip the counter without missing a beat. Choose any car in the aisle and be the boss of you. Go national. Go like a pro.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Gordon Ramsay does not do losing.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Be on Next Level Chef, baby.
Next Level Chef, Thursday on Fox.
Up and Smoke Fireworks is family-owned with a huge selection including Brothers and Showtime, Time Bandit, and Black Hat brands. We will share our knowledge with you, then go have a blast. Up and Smoke Fireworks, 173 West Main Street, Searsport.
Hello, I'm Emma Smith. Coming up on Good Morning Maine, the Army National Guard hosted a Guard Day at the Bangor Army Aviation Support Facility. We'll check out what the different units showcased. Plus, we'll get the latest information about moose ticks, which are already out and biting. We'll have this and more local news coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. Wildlife researchers say there is a challenging dynamic between winter ticks and Maine's beloved moose population. But this year's data on how many calves actually survived their first year is a stark contrast to last year. And so we spoke to moose biologist Lee Kantar from the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to understand what's fueling the change and whether it's a sign of a trend. Experts say every year tens of thousands of winter ticks find a moose host in the fall season and feed off it the entire winter into spring. This time of year, specifically April, is what they call the month of death because, especially for a younger, more vulnerable moose, it's the time when they will likely succumb to that long drain on their blood and die. For 17 years now during the fall moose hunt, researchers with the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife have looked at the tick loads on moose and tracked the calves. The 2021 fall tick count was heavy, so in spring of last year they saw 61 out of the 70 calves they tracked die due to winter ticks. What's grabbed headlines is one of the lowest tick counts ever this past fall, and of the 69 calves they tracked through the winter, only 4 have died of winter ticks so far.
And what people are going to see this year, knock on wood, is that if we lost 87% of the calves last year and things continue the way they are this year, where it's a good year, we're going to have way higher survival. We may have, and I can't predict this, but we're going to have much higher survival, and they're going to see those two extremes. And so our moose population going into this year could have a little bump up, and actually that's a positive thing.
Kantar says winter ticks lay thousands of eggs in the spring, but the weather plays a major role in whether those ticks survive long enough to find a host. They can dry out in the summer, get too wet from rainfall, or be knocked down by wind and early snowfall.
But if you're looking at ticks on moose in October, you're going to have a good idea of whatever the weather was there a lot or was there a little? And that's where we've seen this real dramatic change in the last 2 years.
While Kantar is happy to see Maine moose have a good year in terms of survival, he says he's cautiously optimistic and is keeping his eye on the bigger picture.
But it's one good year. Again, out of the 17 years we've been looking at winter ticks on moose, we've had a few good years and a lot more bad years. And what that means is that your population is slowly going down. If it was the opposite, we'd be going the other way. So we'll take this. We'll take a good year, but it's going to be what happens over the long term.
A very interesting breakdown of that data there. Well, meanwhile, the Maine Army National Guard hosted local ROTC and JROTC cadets for its Guard Day at the Bangor Army Aviation Support Facility. Maine Army National Guard units from around the state showcase their assigned missions, training, and equipment. The event introduces prospective officers and students to various career opportunities within the Army National Guard. Cadets got an up-close look at medical ambulances, tactical communication systems, armored security and weapons of mass destruction response vehicles, as well as aviation assets and various weapon systems.
It's essentially to get a little bit of more understanding and get a chance to talk to some people who are actually in the respective branches in the National Guard. We've got infantry, aviation here. We've got logistics, military police, and
Cadet Perry says the event is especially helpful to younger cadets who are still undecided about their career path.
A local university has brought back a fundraising opportunity with a twist. As part of Husson University's Giving Day, university students had the chance to win cash donations for the campus organization of their choice through the Husson Cash Cab. For a minimum donation of $5, students took a ride around campus and answered a series of questions with the chance to win an additional $25 donation.
I'd say my favorite part about today is Cash Cab. I get to hang out with the students, help promote the day with them here, and I love seeing them earn those extra dollars for their clubs.
This year is only the second time the Cash Cab made its rounds around campus, but students say the tradition is here to stay. This year marked Husson's 5th annual Giving Day.
Definitely a fun opportunity for students there, and an opportunity for them to spread a little bit of their knowledge as well, and showcase that too while earning some money for their respective clubs.
Yeah, it's just kind of a fun twist, like they said, on fundraising. A little bit of trivia. Lots of people like trivia. Trivia night is a popular thing.
Yeah.
It's just a shame you couldn't find a way to have the Eagle drive the Cash Cab, but I'm guessing that headpiece is a little thick and probably hard to wear.
The feathers might get in the way
or fly off as you drive, depending on your speed.
Well, Glad that everyone made it out of that safely.
Safely,
Yeah,
yes.
right. Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, now that his indictment has been unsealed, former President Trump's legal team is busy preparing his defense. We'll have details.
And we'll also have the latest on Evan Gershkovich, the American reporter arrested in Russia. Those stories and more when the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 comes right back.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
BuyAToyota.com is Toyota's official website for deals. See every official Toyota deal out there, including offers not seen on TV. BuyAToyota.com when you officially want the best deal. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Ralphie, how'd you sleep last night? You need to meet Bridget. Who? Bridget. If any Sox player hits for the cycle starting July 31st, any mattress you bought will be free. Where you going?
To meet Bridget.
Experience the cycle at Jordan's.
When animals are in danger.
This gentleman's bunnies ate his drugs.
Really? What kind?
Floppy-eared, fluffy.
No, the drugs. What kind of drugs?
One team.
We just got a 911 on a bear. Get this in a hot tub.
Did he turn the jets on?
Answers the call.
Oh, he's got a crazy look in his eye. Holy. It's huge. You grab the head.
Wait,
right
you
here.
grab the head.
No, you grab it.
Joel McHale.
You're fucking me now.
Animal Control. Thursdays on Fox or watch anytime on Hulu.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
The indictment against former President Donald Trump has now been unsealed, and his attorneys are preparing their defense. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more.
Donald Trump's defense attorneys are combing through a 16-page indictment accusing the former president of falsifying business records. Judge Juan Merchan giving them until August 8th to file motions in the case. Prosecutors can then respond before the judge issues a ruling at the next hearing scheduled for later this year.
The first step as a defense attorney for Donald Trump is to look at the indictment, analyze the charges, and start thinking about how are we going to attack these charges even before trial.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg alleges Mr. Trump falsified records about hush money payments that were made to bury potential damaging stories before the 2016 election. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen admitted to arranging one of those payments in coordination with the former president. Prosecutors say some reimbursement checks given to Cohen came directly from Trump's bank account.
That removes a layer or two of insulation between the former president and Cohen. What'll be really interesting is to see if there's documentary evidence and other evidence that tends to corroborate what the witnesses say.
Trump has denied the claims against him, and federal prosecutors previously declined to file charges. Legal experts expect Trump's attorneys to argue that the case is selective prosecution.
When you're going to bring on a charge against the former president of the United States, it needs to be solid. And I believe it was very underwhelming.
Mr. Trump faces separate investigations from the Justice Department and a Georgia grand jury. In New York, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Secretary of State Antony Blinken says there is, quote, no doubt a Wall Street Journal reporter arrested by Russian authorities last week is being wrongfully detained. Still, the process to reach an official determination on his detention is pending. Fox's Greg Palcott has more.
In my own mind, there's no doubt that he's being wrongfully detained by Russia.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken condemning the imprisonment of Wall Street Journal correspondent Evan Gershkovich. Blinken says the State Department is working through the formalities to label Gershkovich's arrest as an unlawful detention. The official designation would unlock new resources, both diplomatic and legal, to try and get Gershkovich out of Russia, where he was arrested last week on charges of espionage.
We're going to continue to call for the release of Evan Gershkovich. As I said, these charges are ridiculous. Evan is not a spy.
Lawyers for Gershkovich visited him Tuesday for the first time. According to the Wall Street Journal, his legal team reports he is in good health and grateful for the outpouring of support from around the world. The newspaper has denied the charges, which could bring up to 20 years in prison, and Gershkovich is appealing his arrest. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin accused Western intelligence agencies of being involved in what he said were terrorist attacks in Russia.
Neo-Nazis and their accomplices operate not only on the territory of the news subjects of the Russian Federation, but also commit crimes in other regions.
A group of journalists started a social media campaign calling on the Jewish community to leave an empty seat at Passover Seder meals for Evan. In London, Greg Malcott, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Speaker Kevin McCarthy held high-level talks with the Taiwanese president on U.S. soil. It's a move by the speaker which has angered China at a time when the relationship is already at a low point. Fox's Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
A rare and historic meeting between House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen on U.S. soil. Met by both pro-Taiwan and pro-China protesters at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in California, the move is seen as a boost to the self-governing island.
We're stronger when we are together. In our efforts to protect our way of life, Taiwan is grateful to have the United States of America by our side.
President Tsai has been on a trip across the U.S., meeting with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle.
I believe our bond is stronger now than at any time or point in my lifetime.
China condemned the meeting well before it took place and threatened countermeasures. The White House is also closely watching the meeting and what China decides to do about it, if anything. The administration maintains there is no change to the one China policy.
Beijing should not use the transits as an excuse to take any actions to ratchet up tensions.
Chinese state media reports already China is conducting patrols and inspections in the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan says they are tracking a Chinese aircraft carrier to the southeast of the island. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A pandemic-era law that helped uninsured Americans get health care coverage has come to an end. Now states have a little over a year to determine who still qualifies to be in the Medicaid program, which means millions will be left without coverage again. Fox's Steve Harrigan has more.
Starting this week, millions of Americans are at risk of losing their Medicaid coverage. During the pandemic, states were prohibited from kicking people off the low-income health insurance program. But after a 3-year pause, those rules have been lifted.
An additional about 20 million people gained coverage on Medicaid through Medicaid during the past 3 years. And we estimate that about 15 million people may lose coverage.
The pandemic-era declaration ends on May 11th, but states can start the process now and have up to 14 months to remove people who don't qualify. But experts say the process could affect those who are still eligible, too.
Many people will be disenrolled even though they remain eligible, simply because they face administrative barriers with completing the renewal process. Maybe they don't get the notice in the mail. Maybe they get it, but it's not in a language they understand.
States will be sending out renewal notices to people whose eligibility will have to be determined, and they will have at least 30 days to respond to the request. Each state will have a slightly different process, but in general, they will want updates on things like income, address, and number of dependents. The information will come through the regular channels, by mail, phone, email, or by website for individuals who have set up online Medicaid accounts.
Don't ignore it. When you get that notice from the state, open it and take action.
Healthcare advocates say it's critical to reach out to your local Medicaid office. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Companies specializing in technical work like plumbing, construction, and electrical work are having a hard time finding people to fill open positions. And the need is only getting bigger with more federal money going into infrastructure projects around the country. Fox's Jake Karalexis has more.
Companies are seeing more older skilled trade workers retire, but there aren't enough young people training to fill the open roles, leaving more supply than demand.
Full Speed Plumbing has an opening for a new apprentice, but manager Bo McKenzie says it's been tougher than normal to find the right candidate.
Getting the ones fresh out of high schools is few and far between, and you really got to watch for the right ones and try to draw them in.
And that's because there are fewer candidates. According to online recruiting platform Handshake, technical companies saw an average of 10 applications for each open job in 2020 and just 5 on average last year.
There's that systemic stigma that students shouldn't go the pathway of working with their hands and going into the trades. And that's unfortunate.
McKenzie usually looks for someone on the younger side who can grow within the company.
There's no competition for management positions and training positions and leadership positions. So there's really good opportunity for smart young guys coming in if they're willing to just put in a few years.
Sommerfeld says more work needs to be done to recruit and properly train younger workers.
If we want to make an investment into our future, we really need to put our money where our mouth is and get these students and the educators the machines that they need, the training that they need.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts 1.7 million infrastructure workers will either retire or leave their job every year until 2031. In Mount Vernon, Washington, Jake Karalexis, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. If you're in the market for your very own fire truck, well, the town of Orono wants to talk to you.
And in sports, Maine Baseball's 9-hitter was recently named America East's Player of the Week. We'll be right back.
Call Me Kat is back with all new episodes.
Does anyone else hear a chorus of angels?
Maya and Bialik stars in Call Me Kat, Thursday on Fox.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
When the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. The More True team works throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area.
Life doesn't stop for diabetes. Be ready for every moment with Glucerna. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand that's scientifically designed to help manage your blood sugar. Live every moment. Glucerna.
Jim Small Engine, Snow's Corner Road, Arlington, brings years of experience and a large parts inventory to make your engine as good as new. Lawnmowers, chainsaws, rototillers, wood splitters, generators, blowers, trimmers, and power washers will leave Jim Small Engines fully repaired, shiny clean, and ready to go. Jim Small Engines is an authorized dealer for these top brands and sells a wide array of used engines as well as new and used parts and accessories. Call Jim Small Engines at 825-3527. Check their website and like them on Facebook.
From the land to the sea, Chase's Family Restaurant is the place to be.
Are you looking for a place to unwind after a long day?
Then come check out our Hideaway Lounge.
With a bar that's both upbeat and laid back. And it's the perfect atmosphere for anyone who wants to unwind after work.
Or kick it up for the weekends with daily drink specials and a full dinner menu.
You can fill up on a good time any night of the week.
Thank you for being a part of our family.
Here at Chase's Family Restaurant.
The Bristol Dirt Race. Easter weekend on Fox.
It's NASCAR
on the dirt. Some of the steepest bank turns on the circuit. Covered in dirt on a half-mile track. Under the lights in prime time. Chaos will ensue.
Who's gonna save it? Holy cow!
The NASCAR Cup Series, Bristol. Easter Sunday on Fox. Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
Welcome back. The fresh air might not be so free if you want to enjoy it in Hawaii. The state is considering making tourists pay to help take care of its tropical environment. They say the islands have seen a growing number of travelers, and that's taking a toll on its coral reefs, forests, and beaches. So lawmakers are debating whether to require tourists to pay for a year-long pass or license to visit state parks or trails. How much that fee would cost is still up for debate. One legislator recommends the state create a list of places that would require a license. The proposed policy would be a first for any state, but other popular global destinations like Ecuador's Galapagos Islands have implemented similar fees.
Well, parts of the United States are still recovering from the last round of storms, and sadly, they are once again under threat. Fox's Lillian Wu has more.
Our house got hit. Lives were lost. It's heartbreaking.
A massive storm system is moving slowly through the central U.S., causing widespread destruction in areas that are still recovering from the last round of storms. The hardest hit state this morning, Missouri, where a suspected tornado touched down about 50 miles south of St. Louis, ripping roofs off homes, destroying businesses, and causing multiple casualties.
You're going to see a lot of damage, but also if you go to the east, you're going to see a lot of damage. At this point, there are we can't confirm multiple injuries and multiple fatalities. This is a very active search and rescue at this point.
The weather event started last night when strong thunderstorms swept through northern Illinois. Just a few hours later, at least 2 tornadoes were confirmed in the western part of the state. Residents throughout the Midwest describing the panic they felt when they realized the tornadoes were coming.
My ears popped, and I could feel it on my skin. It just felt like somebody opened a soda can real fast, just pop. And the next thing you know, there was crashes and bangs and smashes.
The National Weather Service also tracking a possible tornado that caused major damage in northern Arkansas. And in Little Rock, schools were canceled on Wednesday ahead of more storms later in the afternoon. Folks throughout the area now looking ahead to the recovery process.
It's devastating. It's going to take months to recover, but we'll get there.
Severe thunderstorms are also possible for the mid-Atlantic on Thursday as this storm moves east. In New York, Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Man, it's just been a long pattern and stretch of terrible weather for so much of the country, and just hoping that, especially as we enter the season for these types of storms, that things just kind of hopefully stabilize for a little bit.
I mean, at a minimum, they need a reprieve, but
right.
It really is just unbelievable to see how the repeated impacts in those areas. I can't even imagine what those folks are going through, and you just hope that they're getting the resources that they need to at least start to recover.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, back here at home, obviously, we're looking at much calmer weather, and we'll have all the answers in our full 5-day coming up.
It's April, but wintry weather is still in the area. When is it going to warm up, and when are we finally going to see 60s, maybe 70s? I'll have the answers for some great news coming up.
Looking to buy or sell a home? The More True team of Better Homes and Gardens works throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Give the ladies of the More True team a call today or visit their Facebook page.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Hood is the cottage cheese lovers love. Start with our award-winning country style. It's delicious on its own, or like this. That. Even, sure. Plus, it's got more protein than hummus and less sugar than yogurt. Then there's Hood's flavors. We expertly blend in real fruit or savory herbs for an unbeatable taste combination you can't recreate at home. Now that's cottage cheese. Hood cottage cheese. Always good, always Hood.
Maine's #1 Kia dealer, Van Sickle Kia, has a cost-friendly Kia with your name on it. Choose from our fleet of front-wheel drives, all-wheel drives, hybrids, and fully electric vehicles, all affordable, tech-packed, and great on gas. Check out the all-new 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid with 54 mpg highway, or check out the new 2023 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. All come loaded with safety features and are great on gas. Plus, get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, the best in the business.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Looking to buy or sell a home? The More True team of Better Homes and Gardens works throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Give the ladies of the More True team a call today or visit their Facebook page.
After WrestleMania, the historic title reign continues for Roman Reigns. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown on Fox.
Welcome back, folks. Happy Wednesday to you. Our main weather today is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom inks by licensed artists for over 20 years. What a messy day out there today, folks. Not the nicest day to be outside, but conditions will really start to improve the next several days. Right now, though, we do have winter weather advisories out until the morning hours tomorrow. It's April. It still feels like winter, though. I know it should be in the 40s, 50s even, but don't worry. Warmer and much nicer weather will be back by next week. First, we got to deal with all this wintry mess. Pretty much a wintry mix. Some freezing rain is falling right now. Greenville, Millinocket area, you got to go all the way up north, just close to Caribou, to get some snow. For the most part, this is more of a warmer type of system, but look how really massive it is, stretching all the way from Canada down south into the, all the way, I would say, to Texas. Mexico even has some rain and thunderstorms associated with this low pressure system, and right behind it, that's where the cold front is. So that's when temperatures are going to cool off. But first, all of this precipitation needs to move on in first. So like I said, wintry mix, mostly freezing rain will be in the area tonight. Then by the early morning hours on Thursday, that's going to transition into rain as temperatures actually rise slowly overnight. Then tomorrow, we're back in the upper 40s to lower 50s in some areas. So whatever does fall as freezing rain or snow will quickly melt away throughout most of the state. Then on the back end, we might have a couple of flurries, but overall, though, mainly a rain and freezing rain event. For us, though, maybe a quarter of an inch left of that rain and freezing rain, half an inch, maybe slightly a little bit more in some spots in the most eastern part of the state. Of course, all those heavier bands of snow and freezing rain will be moving on in. So take a look at the last several weeks. We've been very cloudy. We haven't really had any days that were mostly sunny or sunny overall. So lots of clouds have been sticking around with us the last several weeks, and that's going to change. We're going to see lots of sunshine with temperatures. Look at this. Surprise, surprise. It is really going to warm up and feel like spring. Temperatures even back in the 60s, maybe even in the 70s by middle to end of next week. We'll definitely keep an eye on that, but temperatures are going to cool down by Saturday, then by Easter, warming up and then climbing up into the 50s and 60s by next week. Tonight, though, we got to deal with this freezing rain. Temperatures around 31 degrees, a pretty light wind, but still it is going to get messy and slippery outside tonight. Please be careful out there, especially by that early morning commute tomorrow. But then later in the day, 51 degrees, light rain showers more on the scattered end. Things will really improve. Our extended forecast outlook does show those warmer temperatures moving back in by end of this week into next week with a good amount of sunshine. Beth?
All in all, that looks pretty great.
Yeah, just, kind of improving by the day as we go along here. And, hinting at those 60s and 70s to come really gets me excited for what's to come.
I'm just happy with 40s or 50s and some sunshine. I mean, that's perfect weather right
this
there.
This time of the year, you can't complain about that either.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Alrighty, well, sports is coming up next as well. Stay with us.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Here at the Eddington Store, we have what you're craving. From Holton Dairy Farm products to our daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. Did I mention we have fresh cut meats? From hamburger to steaks and even fresh produce, we have what you're craving. And while you're here, don't forget your ice cream at the Dairy Bar and homemade whoopie pies. Are you low on fuel? We offer gas, diesel, and propane too. The Eddington Store, for more than your average convenience store. We look forward to seeing you.
At Hashi's Auto Enhancing, our focus is on the appearance, longevity, and value of your vehicle. Does your undercarriage look like this? You can go from this to this. And if you have a new vehicle, you can avoid this. Our annual undercoating service will add years of life to your vehicle. At Hashi's, we also do rhino linings. We can rhino rocker panels, bumpers, trailers, side-by-sides, and more. We take pride in making your ride shine, inside and out. Book one of our detailing packages.
Bring your ride to us to protect your investment.
Take your taste buds on a journey and experience the brand new international menu Tuesday through Thursday only at the Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub. Every Tuesday, enjoy their delicious French cuisine. On Wednesdays, enjoy their memorable Italian delicacies. And every Thursday, be ready for a fiesta with their Mexican favorites. A full 5-course dinner for just $29.95 per person. And don't forget about their all-you-can-eat seafood Fridays. The Lucerne Inn. Beautiful dining with a delicious view.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Herman Motor Company. Whether you're looking for a new vehicle or to have your current vehicle serviced or detailed, Herman Motor Company has it all.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's kick things off out on the diamond. Maine baseball is on fire to start conference play, sweeping their first 2 America East opponents, and they've been getting a ton of production from the bottom of their order, specifically the 9-hole. Ryan Sudol has the story.
It's good to get off to a hot start and start conference play 6-0. It's been great.
Maine baseball has swept their first 2 series in America East play and are out to their best conference start in 11 years.
That's the best part of it all, is just seeing a team win, seeing a team have success, and just going 6-0, hoping to make it 9-0, and just keep on improving.
Center fielder Dylan McNary has improved like crazy since last year, from just 7 at-bats his first season with Maine to being America East Player of the Week.
Coming off last year, had a little chip on my shoulder. 7 ABs, I wanted more. Everybody always wants more.
He has nothing to lose. Yeah. He's playing the game for fun, and I think he's playing the game to win. It's what winners do.
The Villanova transfer bat .400, drove in 6 runs, and hit 2 homers in the series against UMass Lowell. He did so, as he has all year, from the final spot in the order.
Being in the 9-hole, I hope they never take me out. We get a lot of fastballs down there, and then sets a table, score a lot of runs, and we got guys like Jake and Quinn, Jerry coming up after you.
So McNary is kind of a second leadoff guy, and when the top of the order doesn't come through as much, guys like him are catalysts to the team.
This past weekend, right, our top of the line didn't exactly produce a ton of runs for us. We don't win baseball games this past weekend without our 7, 8, 9 guys having success.
And the Black Bears look to duplicate that success this weekend against a struggling Albany team and extend their conference winning streak.
We're going to go out and try and get to their pen and try and make them show that they have some depth with their pitchers.
In Orono, I'm Ryan Sudol, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Not leaving the diamond right now. We are so close to opening day for the Portland Sea Dogs, I can almost taste those Sea Dog biscuits. Portland opens up their season on Thursday at home against the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. They've got some new faces this season, but also some familiar ones too. A dozen players from last year's squad that made it to the Eastern League playoffs are back at Hadlock, including infielder Christian Koss. He's the reigning Sea Dogs MVP from a year ago. He hit .260 last season with 17 homers and 84 ribbies. The kid from Cali has certainly enjoyed his time in Portland.
I feel like you've played in parks before where the fans go there because that's just what there's to do. But I feel like the fans come here and they're in on the Sea Dogs. They're in on the players. So that's a good feeling when you're out there. In a close game, like knowing that the people back there freezing their butts off, are still rooting for you. So it gets you going a little bit.
Sure, we've all frozen our butts off at Hadlock once or twice. As for newcomers, one of the brand new faces fans will be excited to see this year is second baseman Nick York. York was a first-round draft pick for Boston back in 2020. He is 21 years old and had a terrific spring. He also grew up in California, but he's already loving his new home and is excited to be part of the Red Sox family.
You know, just talking with teammates here and stuff, like, you know, there's no other organization that you want to be playing for. I mean, it's top tier. You know, going back to the history, they have a lot of minor leaguers coming up through their system that play on their big league team. You know, they're really good at developing players. So, you know, just to be a part of this culture, the history, you know, and hopefully contribute to that in the future, you know, it's a great honor to just be a part of it.
All right, we're glad to have him a part of it. Let's stay on the diamond now. Big baseball sports block here. Red Sox in action on Wednesday, closing out their 6-game homestand to start 2023. Sox looking to avoid being swept by Pittsburgh. Top of the fourth, first pitch of the inning, Carlos Santana gets a hold of this Corey Kluber breaking ball. That goes around the pesky pole. That makes it 1-0 Pirates. Top of the sixth now, runners on the corners for Cabrian Hayes. Drops down this beauty of a bunt. Couldn't have placed it better. Beats it out at first. That makes it 2-0. So a 4-0 hole for the Sox in the seventh. Christian Arroyo lasers this one up the middle. That counts as an infield single. Tristan Casas scores. Later in the inning, Reese McGuire. It looks like he just tied the game on one swing of the bat. That was originally called a 3-run blast. The umpires would take a second glance at it, though. Look here. That ball is called foul, rightfully so. And McGuire goes on to strike out, and that would really be the last good chance the Sox had. They fall 4-1.
We didn't play good baseball. We didn't. Obviously, the running game, we got to do a better job. We showed some flashes of, you know, good stuff, but overall, you know, like today, that wasn't good.
All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Tonight's Stunt Report is brought to you by Loring Outdoors. We are looking for committed workers to build one-of-a-kind pack baskets. Head on over to loringoutdoors.com.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
I started smoking at age 16. I was scared when they found cancer in my lung.
Lung cancer, still the deadliest cancer in Maine, but a new test can find it earlier when treatment is more successful.
They were able to remove my cancer and I went back to work, but now I'm retired.
If you're age 55 or older and smoke now or smoked heavily in the past, ask your provider if lung cancer screening is right for you. And learn more at screenmaine.org.
When you've experienced fire and smoke damage in your home, when pipes break and you have water everywhere, when you're concerned about your family's health because of mold, you need a friendly face to take care of it all. You need the friendly faces of Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. We're just a click or call away. Whatever life throws at you, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is here for you. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
It's time to bring balance to business travel and discover the equilibrium that works for you. At National, you're in control. Skip the counter, choose any car in the aisle, and manage your rental right from the app. So you can mix work with leisure, or leisure with work, giving you the control to find the perfect balance. Go National. Go like a pro.
This is Eargo. They automatically enhance your hearing wherever you are.
Ours comes with buttons on the back, so you can fiddle around to your heart's content.
Like the 80s all over again.
Cool, right?
For a limited time, get $300 off our latest device.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. With the money we saved, we tried electric unicycles.
I think I got it.
Doggy paddle. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
Pictionary.
Ballet, tutu.
autocorrect! You did it! With 1 second left!
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Welcome back. A pop trio announced a special concert. A celebrity couple shares their wedding footage and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Hi, Barbie.
Barbie heads to the real world. Kravis share their nuptials. And the Joe Bros plan an epic night in the Hollywood Nation. The Jonas Brothers will take over Yankee Stadium this summer. The pop star siblings announced a special one-night-only show at the iconic venue in New York City August 12th. They will perform all 5 of their albums, including songs from their upcoming record, The Album, due out May 12th.
Man, that smile straight ahead.
Austin Butler will produce his next starring role. The Golden Globe winner will lead Sony Pictures' film adaptation of Don Winslow's novel, City on Fire. He will play the ruthless leader of an Irish-American crime family warring with an Italian-American crime family for control over New England.
This is our personal archive.
Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker get married 3 times in today's first looks. Hulu announced the premiere date and released the trailer to the couple's new special, Till Death Do Us Part. It will give viewers a behind-the-scenes look at their trio of weddings in Las Vegas, Santa Barbara, and Portofino, Italy. The show premieres April 13th.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken. And Warner Brothers gives an extended look at the upcoming live-action Barbie movie. Alongside Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as Barbie and Ken, the new visuals reveal a star-studded cast as other Barbies and Kens greeting each other. It also shows Robbie and Gosling's characters departing Barbie Land for the real world. The film arrives in theaters July 21st. What are you doing here? In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, this next story is about a sale of sorts, a dream for some that could become a reality now. Have you ever wanted to own your own fire truck? Well, Orono has recently retired a truck that is now up for bid. It's got 73,000 miles on it with a 1,000-gallon water tank. So go ahead and dream of what that would look like in your driveway. Orono is accepting sealed bids until 9 a.m. on April 28th at the town hall. You can stop by the Orono Fire Department to see the truck Monday through Friday between 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. if you'd like to take a look.
I don't think that thing would even fit in my driveway, so
No,
I'm automatically out.
Negative.
yeah,
that's
Oh,
I can't parallel park that thing.
No, but
No
I'm
way.
sure that, whoever the highest bidder ends up being would, hopefully have some fun with that water cannon at some point. That sounds
I have no
like a
official
good time.
statement on that. Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.